We want to bring our master of ceremony to the stage right now. Officer Rashad Brown.
All right.
We're going to use the outside voice until the generator get here.
Absolutely right. Let's start off with a word of prayer. So I'm going to have everybody stand up so we can cover ourselves in this event. All right, let's bow our heads. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day, this time that you've allowed us to come together. We thank you, God, for blessing us to have the activities of our limbs and life, health, and strength. Father, we ask that you cover us and cover this event. Thank you for allowing us to come together to celebrate such a momentous occasion for such a great man who made such a great impact in our city. We ask that you continue to bless his legacy, continue to bless his family, God, and continue to bless the endeavors that will come forth from this event today. We love you, we thank you, and we celebrate you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So around, make sure you go out and support the vendors after this. At least stop by and get some information about their business. Is Pastor C.J. Duffy here? Pastor C.J. Duffy? B-Star here? B-Star. Do we have any civic leaders here? We got any family members here? Nobody. We got family members. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. I heard you.
Real quick, B-Star, he's not here, so what we was going to do, and I know everybody knows this song, we was going to all stand and sing Lift Every Voice and Sing, if you don't mind. Please stand and everybody sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Go ahead off.
Bring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise higher than Blair Senior here.
Robert Blair Sr.
I didn't see Congress more.
Good afternoon and good evening to, well, not evening, but good afternoon to everyone. I personally knew William Blair. We affectionately call him Daddy Blair. So this is quite an honor for me. I am here for State Representative Eric Johnson. Eric is a little late. He had a graduation to do at the same time that this was scheduled. However, being that Daddy Blair was such an instrumental force, not only in our community, but in my life personally. So I am here, first of all, and I see Mr. Darryl Blair just arrived. Darryl, come right on up. Come on up. I am fine, Darryl. Hey, good to see you. We're just getting ready to honor Daddy from State Representative Eric Johnson's office. So I wanted you to stand with me so this would have even more the meaning. I met this young man way before he even went to college, thanks to Daddy Blair. And so we're going to read this now. Whereas the observance of the 4th Annual Bill Blair Day on October 21st, 2017 provides a fitting opportunity to pay tribute to the esteemed Dallas civic leader and baseball star who passed away on April 20th, 2014 at the ripe old age of 92. Whereas a Dallas native, William Blair Jr., he began his career playing baseball when he was only 16. Joining a brainstorming team in Mineola, he briefly attended Prairie View A&M. University before enlisting into the United States Army during World War II and becoming the youngest African American first sergeant. After demobilization, he pitched for the Indianapolis Clowns and other Negro League teams. He also a player manager for the Dallas Black Giants. He retired from the game in 1951 and eventually inducted into the Negro League Baseball Museum. And whereas Mr. Blair became involved in journalism in the late 1940s, where he launched Southwest Sports News, which published scores from African American colleges across the country. As the publication expanded its coverage, he became the voice for the community. At the helm a community, and he renamed his newspaper the Highlight News, and finally the E-Light News, which we know it as today. Well, 3 decades at the helm of the paper, he turned daily operations over to his children while continuing to write 2 weekly columns as senior publisher. In 2011, the Dallas Park and Recreation Board named a park in his honor, and his papers and memorabilia are archived in the University of Texas at Arlington. And, yay, that deserved a round of applause. Whereas a devoted family man, Mr. Blair shared a rewarding marriage of 70 years from his high school sweetheart. Okay, I think we got a little something to live up to, y'all. As the former Moselle Jordan, where he was the proud father of 7 children. Oh, and here comes Deborah. Hey. Okay, I'm right here. The proud father of 7 children. William, Deborah, Lachelle, Robert, Jordan, Terry, and Daryl. Although he's deeply missed by those he left behind, his outstanding contribution to the community will continue to resonate for years to come. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the 4th annual Bill Blair Day celebration be commemorated, and that all those in attendance be extended sincerely best wishes for a meaningful and joyful occasion. Humbly submitted by Eric Johnson, State Representative, District 100.
Really good to see all of y'all faces here today. I'm Deborah Blair Abram. I'm Mr. Blair Moses' daughter, second child out of 7, born 2 years after Bill Blair. But this is just a grand occasion. We don't want this to look at each other's faces, please, and remember these faces. If you don't know each other, because we need to remember one another, because that's what Mr. Blair was all about. He encouraged people, he loved people, and he wanted us to also be a part of one another and lift each other up and seek us out to love Dallas, Texas. So we're just so grateful that you're here today, the 4th annual. Get ready for next year. Let's just have a great time today. So, the things I wanted to say today with you all being here, both my brothers are here today, Robert and Daryl. But it's just incumbent on us with the E-Light newspaper. Daryl and I are publishers of the E-Light newspaper. We're asking that if you all will continue to support the newspaper, continue to support the cause, because we are nothing without you all. We are all together, all of us together. So no man is an hour. So if you all would still keep in contact with us, we got some papers here, our phone numbers in the newspaper. Give us a call. We're here for the cause. Keep each other lifted up. And it's just so magnificent that this park was named after William Blair Jr., Negro League inducted baseball player. We just thank you all so much. I'll go on and talk because I'm really happy to see everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out, we want to thank Eric Johnson, State Representative Eric Johnson, for his acknowledgement of the father's comment. Peter Johnson, he's one of the ones that fought on that bloody bridge, on Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. You got a bloody head too. Stand up, please. Stand up. You got to put his head about the He's right there with Martin Luther King. Jesse and John Lewis and those guys take credit. He said he continues to work in the trenches. He didn't go glory high. He just stayed trench low. Yeah. Continued to work. T.W. Whitaker, I want to say thank you to you for coming out, and all of you who are here in your esteemed presence. I didn't have much to say, but the fact that the park is named after my father speaks for itself. For whatever good works he's done, somebody taught him to acknowledge him. And acknowledge him by putting something that want to be lasting. Even when he's gone, they can still say the name of his park. And finally, we are at a point, as you see, this is a very small crowd. And before my father started, when he started the MLK parade, you know, matter of fact, we had people walking down the side with us because that's all we had. We didn't have the biggest team crowd. We didn't have but a few people. So it started like this, and before you know it, you can sit up and say you were a part of history. That you started out with this, and look at it now. I remember when I was there, wasn't 15 people. Well, look at it now. And so as it moves forward, we're going to continue to celebrate and try to establish a program where we're going to give scholarships to kids and let them benefit from this particular event in all the ways we do this. We thank you so much. Even Jones,
this man has been with us from the inception of from Bill Blair Day and inception period, because it's just not because love is what goes around. But he loved Daddy, and that made him love us. So we want to thank him for being here, and I want to thank also all my other family for being here, our nieces and granddaughters and cousins. We appreciate you all for being here. There's a lot of you.
Patriarch for the Blair clan. Now, but what I wanted to do is I want to take an opportunity to thank everybody for coming out. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to the back and I think that needs to be acknowledged. He's serving in the role that my brother Jordan, he was elected in that position that my brother Jordan formerly held.
Right.
The Dallas County School Board. And we very appreciate him coming out. And really all of y'all. That's what I was need to say. I want to say hello to my daughter, my granddaughter. I hadn't seen them in about 3 weeks. Come on, Papa. Oh yeah, but I'm always glad to see them. I mean, even old friends like the guy we grew up across the street. This is a very pleasant surprise.
William Earl of Fall.
We were little kids. He used to call us. No, I don't.
50 years ago.
Yeah, he used to call us Little Cigar. Because our daddies, we always smell like cigar being around our daddies. He was one of the people that used to tease us like that. But again, in closing, I'd like to say thank y'all very much for coming out. And I share the opinion that, you know, hopefully this is the start of something much bigger. And hopefully you all will come out. And again, like you say, that parade started with a few people, car driving down the street. People yelling, "Get out the street!" And from those humble beginnings, it became the largest MLK celebration in the nation. I have no such ambitious goals for this, but we like to see it do whatever it can do. And thanks to people like you and moving forward, we thank you.
Oh, this is not on. You can get a ticket, okay. Councilman Kevin Felder here today.
How's everybody doing?
Good. Great.
Good. I just want to give this special recognition to the Blair family. Special recognition, whereas Mr. William Bill Blair was born October 21st, 1921, in Dallas, Texas. Mr. William Blair, born Ross Blair. And whereas Bill Blair graduated from Booker T. Washington High School in Dallas, attended Prairie View A&M. Whereas Sergeant Bill Blair was the first and youngest black sergeant in the U.S. Army during World War II. Where he lived with valor and dedication to preserve the lives and the property of citizens of Dallas on our country. And whereas being in the spirit of the people and divinely confident, he started the first and only of his kind. Hall of Fame. Has been a civil rights activist for more than 6 decades. In 1986, Blair launched the first Dr. Martin Luther King Day Parade. This parade is now an institution of Dallas. And whereas in 1999, Blair founded the
Religious Hall of Fame, honoring ministers throughout America. And whereas Bill Blair, the purpose of the Religious Hall of Fame, for the deeds of the greatest religious leaders in the United States, of people worldwide with diverse backgrounds that are living legacy of spiritual inheritance and that have contributed to society, that are living testimony of ordinary people come from the hand of extraordinary beings. Whereas Bill Blair actively leads the council for now, therefore, I, Kevin D. Councilman of the City of Dallas, on behalf of the City Council, hereby extend special recognition to William Bill Blair Jr., the founder of the Religious Hall of Fame.
First office that the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the organization founded by Martin Luther King, the first office we had in the state of Texas was on Forest Avenue, which is Martin Luther King Boulevard now. The corner of Forest Avenue in Atlanta, a building called the Professional Building at that time. My office was upstairs in that building. Right across the hall from my office, Deborah was your father. His office was right across the hall from my office. So we saw each other every day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. And I want to spend a few minutes talking about what I saw. We really didn't know each other then. I saw him build his business based on this newspaper.
Yeah.
I watched him do it by himself.
That's right.
7 days a week.
Yeah, that's right.
I watched him
Yeah.
do it right across the hall from hall. I watched him develop the concept of a newspaper that spoke to our churches. I worked in Black America from Harlem to Watts. Every major black community in America, I've had an opportunity to work in there. The only black newspaper that I ever seen in Black America to speak to the needs and to tell the story of our churches was the Eli News. And I used to love to hear him answer the phone. He'd say, Eli!
That's right. Eli.
This is 50 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not the young people understand how difficult it was for an African American man to build a paper and a business during that period. First thing to his children, your daddy was brilliant. Yeah. He was extremely intelligent and very smart. Not educated in terms of university, but understanding how to take care of his family, make a living, and not work for white people. Yeah. He built this newspaper into a business. Bill Blair, to me, was the walking, talking, breathing, and living evidence that the pen is mightier than the sword, son. That the pen is mightier than the sword. Bill was able to take his newspaper and tell what's going on in our communities and create white people reading it because they wanted to know what the colored people was doing.
Right.
So Bill was able to speak not just to us, but to people north to downtown who also read his paper.
Yes, yes.
Understanding who we are and what our responsibilities are today.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's to understand the foundation that people like Bill Blair built for us to climb up on. We have a responsibility to the next generation to continue to build businesses and institutions and continue to open up the doors for our people. If we want to really pay a tribute to William Blair, help somebody. If you really want to pay a tribute to this man, help a child go to college.
Right.
Help our businesses. I just looked through this paper. And I looked through our papers every week. Some of the things we can do for our businesses, we ought to tell Burger King, you must spend money with our people. We ought to tell Church's Chicken, we eat a lot of that chicken. That y'all ought to spend money with our newspapers. We ought to tell all of the businesses they ought to buy ads in our newspapers.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Walmart, I see us. Yeah. Walmart spends a lot of money in advertising. Where is the Walmart advertisement in our papers? When Walmart makes money from us and spends it with the Dallas Morning News, that is unfair.
Right.
That is unfair.
For you today. And of course, we all looked around to say, what was she trying to say? She said, I can barely stand up here. It's so crowded up here on this stage.
Wow.
She said, although you cannot see it, all of my ancestors, all of those who fought in the civil rights, all of those who have died before me are standing around me. And I'd like to suggest to you that this park is full of people today, although we may not be able to see them. All of our ancestors are standing around watching us have this momentous occasion. And as young people, I don't want us to forget about the struggle that took place so that we can have the freedoms and the luxuries that we have. Even myself being 29, sometimes we enjoy the life that we have now without paying the proper respect to those who paved the way for us to be here. So although we are here to celebrate this man, we also have to take the time to celebrate his legacy. That's making sure that we still have a right to assemble and still have a right to have our news shared without it being tampered with and without somebody else trying to tell our story. Because let me tell you, can't nobody tell our story better than us.
That's right. That's right. That's what Dad. That's his motto.
Is Carolyn Lucas here?
The round table.
The round table, Carolyn Lucas. Albert Britton.
Dr. Albert here.
Dr. Albert's not here. C.W. Whitaker.
I see, we play softball. That's Freddie Simpson. He's one of our players. And we're going to play a game right after. Oh, what's up, Marlon? I didn't see you back there. So we're going to play a softball game over there against the Millenniums. We are 4-time champions. We don't expect any changes. Let me say I love Mr. Bill Blair.
Hey.
And it was a fight for this park because everybody didn't want to see this name.
They sure didn't. They sure did.
So I was lucky to be on the park board at that time. I was lucky that I wasn't the chair of that time. I was on a committee. And the committee was kind of dogging the people in there. And I said, hold it, we're going to take a break. Because we are not going to disrespect our community. So things turned out. We had a vote 9-6 in favor of this park right here.
That's right.
We worked on it. We made it happen. So I feel privileged. I also feel privileged. I'm serving on Dallas County School Board. Well,
to talk about such a magnificent man. But let's talk about the magnificent man's dreams, ambitions, and goals. And let's also sort of kind of lock in our mind how we can take it to the next level. Because we had so many people start out before us and so many few people now that are finishing the dreams that we need to keep moving. As I drove into this park, I said, you know what? When I turned into that corner, there should have been a huge giant statue looking me in the face. Yeah. And it should have been the face of Bill Blair.
Amen.
You ride down 45 and you come past Huntsville. Y'all see that big old statue of Sam Houston?
Yes.
That's what should be sitting right here, one of Bill Blair. This is a beautiful park. And part of this park has his dreams and ambitions in it. This park has his dreams and ambitions for baseball taking place over there. Can you imagine throughout the summer, endless leagues coming through here, our folks playing baseball? I'm from Chicago, guys, and every summer our parks are full of little young brothers and sisters playing baseball. We have a full facility here to do that. Let's keep Brother Blair's dream alive for making that happen. He was one who was for education as well, okay? If you ever met Brother Blair, and especially if you meet him for the first time, and for the first time I actually met him, I moved to the Dallas area in '86. I got a chance to finally shake hands and press flesh with him maybe the late 90s, and he intimidated me. And y'all get scared sometimes when you talk to Brother Bill and he tell you exactly what's on his mind. And so At that time, I was moving forward and I was going to be doing some things. I was director of Methodist Hospital's prostate cancer program. And I was trying to figure out, how do I get around to this community? And every day this paper is landing on my desk. And I looked on there and I said, churches, who do I communicate with about this? And I went straight to Brother Blair and he gave me the prescription for communicating. And I call churches his rock, because that's where his rock was. Everything that Bill Blair did throughout the course of his life spinned off from that and into the community. And so through his assistance and sharing with me his resources in this newspaper, I was able in 2 years to educate 60,000 people about prostate cancer and screen over 7,000 people. We saved lives. Bill Blair helped me save lives. Okay, so it was not just about some of the things that you heard about, but there's some things you may not have heard about. Okay, and those were his dreams and his visions, and he may have come at you in a different sort of way, but when you left him, it stuck in your mind as to what type of person he was and what he wanted. I'm going to challenge you, because Bill Blair is up there challenging you, and he probably challenged you from the first day you met him. We need to become better involved in the education of our kids. We need to become more involved. This newspaper in itself and the histories that he put in there, our kids can't read this.
Wow.
Across the United States and the major cities across the country, only 90% of the black boys in the United States in 8th grade, 90% of them are reading at a 4th grade level.
Wow.
They can't read Bill Blair's paper. Why aren't we intricately involved in education? Why aren't we in the schools trying to make a difference? We're letting our kids teach themselves. They're YouTubing, they're texting, they're tweeting, and they don't know how to read. So they can't get the messages that the black press needs to give them. Ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you, get back into the school system. If Bill Blair was here, he'd be directly on top of it. Education, politics, please. Bill was deeply involved in politics in his own special way. And he made politicians become accountable for what they needed to do. Is there any accountability now? Ask yourself the question. How many people do we put in and don't ask them what did they do for us lately?
Right.
Bill Blair would be asking them, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing? They'd have to come to him to get his blessings to move forward and run for office in this city.
Amen.
You didn't run for office in this city and didn't talk to Bill Blair.
That's right.
Didn't do
Testify.
nothing. You're right.
Testify.
So you had to go through what I call him one of the founding fathers, along with Peter, in the strong civil rights movement in this city. We need to begin to hold Bill Blair's message to the flames of those people that are running for these offices and make them accountable. Because Bill ain't here to holler in their ear. We got to do it.
Right.
Economics. Oh, economics.
Yeah.
We're sending our money outside of the community like nobody's business. We're letting other people tear down our structures in our community and come in and build these big edifices and take our money out and not bring anything in. They're not bringing any jobs to our community. We have a high unemployment rate among our young people because other people are coming in and ciphering our neighborhoods. Bill Blair will be the first one to say we need to do for self. That's why he started this newspaper, to teach us to do for self, stand the course, and do what we need to do to create our own economic environment. So we're not begging the man for stuff off his table, and we create our own table.
Amen.
That's what we need to be doing. If you want to be out here and spread the word about how great Bill Blair is, do Bill Blair's work. Pick up the mantle and carry the charge for what Bill Blair was about.
That's right.
Let's not leave here and be, as they say, the same tool and the same fool we were before we got here.
Amen.
Don't come here for the message and then when you leave, you act like you didn't hear nothing.
Right.
Because we're trying to encourage you now. If you honored the man and you love the man, follow the man's footsteps. Look at the roadmap that he left for you to do great things. Let's get that scholarship off the ground in the name of Bill Blair. There should be several young people in this community getting that scholarship. Let's not sit back. We got to raise that money and make that happen. Okay? Let's do that. Let's get together with the family and develop these foundations that need to be set up so that baseball is going on in this park 24/7, 365 days a year, even though it's raining, because they need the training. That we have education programs going on throughout this community, and they're starting off by reading this newspaper so they understand what's been put in this newspaper about where they've been and where they need to go. Let's encourage our people to start looking at opportunities in business. I remind folks every day, they may call me a Yankee if they want to, but Chicago has rows and rows and blocks of people that's got businesses. And that money is circulating in the community. Chicago has 5 black banks and savings and loans owned by black people. There's not one in the city of Dallas. Where's our money going? And you let that one that was here close down, because I was here when it happened. Come on, people. If you believe in Bill Blair, do those things that Bill Blair was about.
Amen.
Let's build our economic base. Let's build our education level where our kids are comprehending and understanding, because technology is running down the road and our kids are being left back here to take the jobs at the Burger Kings and the McDonald's and all those different fast food places. Our children are being left behind. If nothing else, if you feel as passionate about Bill as I do, step up to the plate. I started the Ellis County African American Hall of Fame Museum in Waxahachie, and somebody said, "Why are you in Waxahachie?" I said, "You know what? Because somebody needs to go somewhere else and teach. We don't all need to be here in Dallas teaching." And so I take with me Bill Blair's message to a whole nother area who had no idea who he was, and work that legacy. Okay, do what you're supposed to do, be about deed and not just about lip service. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you to be involved in the education system that needs to be tweaked more than once or twice. We need to be sitting at the table with our kids asking, "What did you learn in school the other day?" We need to be involved in the economic system. What businesses aren't being developed in your community? I'm not running for office, but I told somebody if I were, I'd be in New York and Detroit and Chicago telling them to bring them businesses to my community where people need to have jobs. And they'd be running down here instead of moving companies and corporations out to Plano and Allen and all out there. Them businesses be right down there along Corridor 20 where they're building all of these warehouses and storage facilities that are not employing our people. We didn't get jobs from that. Somebody else got jobs. Economics, politics, education, and lastly, humanity. We are all part of the human race. There's some bad white folks, there's some bad black folks. Get with the ones you can work with, preferably the good ones, and let's build a nation, and let's go ahead and uplift Bill Blair's spirit and those things that he wanted to do. Thank you.
All right.
Those the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. I am that foolish thing. Don't worry about the size. Ain't gonna be no compromise. You just watch me ride. 15 years on the radio. I believe in laughter, because the Bible says that a merry heart does good like a medicine.
Yes, it does.
So open up your ears and take your medicine.
Amen.
I played a gig at the Lincoln Center last year. Some of the rappers come up there. Y'all heard the gentleman speaking, and he's right. We need to try to use our gifts that God gave us to better our people and to educate our people. You know, a lot of the rappers are saying about nonsense, how many girls they got, how many cars they got, and they should use that power to educate people.
That's right.
Like I told Busta Rhymes, Tupac wasn't nothing but one part with a ham hock when I started. If that boy can be 50 cent, I can be a quarter and walk on water just like I oughta. 74 and I'm looking for more. If I'm lying, James ain't brown, Al ain't green, and BB ain't king. I'm glad to be here, I guarantee you. The Lord has blessed me to still travel around the world. You can see me on the YouTube performing around the world. I just did a show with Earth, Wind and Fire a couple of months ago in Austin. They brought the earth and the wind, I brought the fire. I'm glad to be here. Thank y'all.
All right.
Thank you. In the forefront for a long, long time. I just want to thank everybody for coming out here today, My heart is really warm. I don't see the glass half full. I see it all the way full. So in that, it would be a travesty if we do not, as Brother Rashid was saying, it will be a travesty if we do not open our mouths and speak. The word says that death and life is in the power of the tongue. And if we don't speak life into each other, we might as well be dead. I was telling Dr. Rashid, I talked to a man last night, we are never to be ashamed of who we are. I heard a man ask a preacher, he was at a church, and the preacher told him that color did not matter in God's eyesight. So the guy, when he got through, he went up and he talked to the preacher, he said, tell me what that guy said, that's not what he meant. He said, I'm talking about because the guy said a lot of profound things. And he said that, tell me that in God's eye, color don't mean anything, because if he did, why did he make me black? We ought to be proud of who we are. God made you who he made you to be. And if you don't know something, don't worry about it, ask somebody. You know, don't try to act like you know something and don't know anything. That's the way I do. That's how come we got these profound people here, Dr. Rashid, Peter Johnson, all the different guys that are playing baseball, friends, family, the LaFalls, revelations, because of the fact that I get out and I ask somebody. Because I'm not an owl, and no man is an owl. So we have to work together. You all have the newspapers. The newspapers have our phone number. We've always been a voice. And one thing about the Blair, praise God, we ain't scared.
I know that's right.
We don't mind saying what we have to say for the people. And that's why the people were out here, the councilman was here. We need support in this part for Mr. Blair. For our little leaguers, Daddy wanted to feed people, feed young children. He wanted inner league baseball. He's also a draftee that every Negro League baseball inductee was drafted by the Major League Baseball because they did not do them the way they should have done them. They could have been in the Major League too, but they wasn't in there, such as Jackie Robinson. So, I mean, you know, we have to remember the things like, I said, Daddy, but when Jackie Robinson came out the field, when I went to Kansas City, when he was in the Dad's in the Negro League Hall of Fame, you see him there, I said, boy, he was sweating like I wouldn't say, you know, there wasn't sweat, he ever spit. He spit all over this man. So that other baseball players play and now play in the Major League Baseball League. And they also consider the Puerto Rican black people too. So they play with the Negro League also. But let's not forget, the dream is just not Mr. Blair. It's just not Dr. King's. It wasn't no good if it was by themselves. It's because of us. So let's stay together, as Al Green said. And the Lord, stay together. Give us a call. We want to thank you all. Please remember to visit the vendors. We've got catfish over here, fried catfish. Mr. Blair's books over there, the books we wrote about. Because he was saying when Dad started, Daddy would tell you he started with $2 in his pocket for this newspaper. So I won't bore you any longer, but I want to thank you all for being here. And I want to thank my son, Casey Hot Dog Blair, for this was his dream. Right, now his body is just like my daddy's body. This is who's gonna be. This is the statue who we're going to use his body, you know, to make that a dad's statue. But as soon as Dad passed, this Sunday morning, 2014, Casey started planning the Bill Blair Day. He wanted to do something in memory of his grandfather.
Amen.
So I just want to thank you, Casey, for us standing here and being out here together, and for Dad for us being able to be here for your dreams. Help this young man, John.
I just want to say I appreciate everybody coming out. Helping me celebrate my grandfather's birthday and honoring him in his part. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I have the Hughes side of family out here too. They talk, but the Blair family side talk a whole lot. I don't talk a whole lot. I take it from the Hughes side of the family. So I just want to say thank y'all and see y'all next year. Thank you, C.W. Whitaker. Thank you, the vendors, life insurance, the fragrance. Auntie, Bobby Patterson, Eddie Bernice Johnson, Eric Johnson, and everybody else who came out. Thank you.
All right.
There you go. That's beautiful. Y'all don't move.
Also, what else? Oh, we have fish back.
So we're going to release some balloons, and then make sure you stop by the vendors booth and all that good stuff.
We go.
Thank you, Officer Brown.
On the count?
Yeah, wonderful. Wait a minute, Casey, let him bring the rest of it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, CW.
Okay, let me.
Something smells good.
Okay, my name is Jerome Armstrong, and I'm the founder of the Dallas Black Film Festival. And I knew Mr. Blair because he used to come to Lee's barbershop when I was growing up, and I would always talk to him there. So I knew him through Mr. Lee at the barbershop. But I do the Dallas Black Film Festival. I took that kind of inspiration where you just do something, because when I came back from California back in 2003, there was no film festival going on here. So I saw what was happening in California, and I've spent time in New York, and I just, went for it and created. So we're going into the 15th year coming up, and it's original. So this goes back to that whole thing about doing for self. If you see something, young, middle-aged, old, whatever, and it's lit in your spirit, just move on it like Mr. Blair did with the newspaper and stuff. Just follow that spirit and continue to do things. Because if you're not taking the first step forward, then there can be no steps left behind. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
When is your premieres? Give us
the
the date.
film festival is always in August. We do it in August, and it's normally done at a black facility too, the Active Change. Some of y'all might know of that place, in Oak Cliff, the Active Change Inc. It's an original thing, and we also accept films from independent filmmakers, whether they're children, teenagers, grown-ups, whoever. But we have various categories: documentary, we have short film, and we have independent film, feature film. So we're online, www.DallasBlackFilmFestival.com, and it is the original Dallas Black Film Festival. After us, then you get the Denton Black Film Festival. After us, then you get the Austin Black Film Festival. But Dallas, we had the first one.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
All right, everybody, let's come together. We're going to close off in prayer and let our balloons go at the same time.
Amen.
Come on together. Come on.
Come on together. Come on together.
Come on together, everybody.
I'm in close. That way I ain't got to holler.
I lost about 60 of them on the freeway. Because he was 96, so I had 91, 97 to grow on.
So when I say amen at the end of the prayer, we're going to let our balloons go. You can already have them in the halfway position. All right, let's pray. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day and the time that you allowed us to come together and celebrate the legacy of this great man. Lord, we thank you for all of our speakers. We thank you for all of our guests. We thank you for all the family and friends who have assembled here today, God, to honor this legacy. Father, we pray that in the days going forward that you will continue furthermore to bless this family, that they will continue to be the seeds of hope in this community. We ask that you bless this heart and keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger. And Lord, we ask that you bless us as we're here today, that you will continue to preserve us to be who you called us to be in this season. We thank you, Lord, for what you're doing for us. We thank you, Lord, for what you're doing through us. And most importantly, God, we thank you for what you're doing in us. So you that have performed the good work shall perform it to the day of Jesus Christ. And we release this balloon, God, as to go up to heaven to let this